You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Heroclix Nation, it has been a minute, and I'm not going to give you guys any excuses. I forgot about the grind because my Chiefs grinded this year out, and let me tell you, it feels so good to be a Chiefs fan right now. And if I have any other Chiefs fans in the Heroclix community, feel free to put it down below in the comments. We should be really proud this year, and all I gotta say is, don't call it a rebuild. So, without further ado, let's talk about Heroclix. So, Heroclix had a bunch of news come down the pipeline during the, the playoffs, the Super Bowl run for the Kansas City Chiefs. Not all of it was great, but a lot of it was. I got a little bit of mixed feelings, and I'm going to have a roundtable with all of the guys to talk about, all the different rules changes and the highlights. We'll just go over the highlights of it here. So the first one was about the terrain. Let's see if we can find it. So the terrain markers. The first one brought up terrain markers, and this is something that we've known about since Worlds. They brought it up there that we're going to be able to put out terrain markers so that we can influence the map. And going forward, the maps that they're going to create aren't going to have as much terrain on them. It's going to be more up to us to put terrain down on the map however we feel. And this is a lot like a lot of other miniature games, I feel like, that I've seen at my local game store and that I've played. You kind of build the terrain yourself. You build the map. You build the map and then you play the game. And I feel like that's, this kind of embodies that. I'm okay with this, and we'll go into it in more detail down the pipeline. It's been gone through ad nauseum by all the other great Heroclix commentators in the community. I don't really want this to be that. I don't want to rehash everything that they've said, because at the end of the day, a lot of them have been playing the game longer than I have, to be frank. And two, when you have, 10 to 15 people going through the rules and telling you guys the same things over and over again, it's not that much fun to listen to. Today we're just going to hit the highlights of each one of these and then go through what characters kind of got the biggest bump because of the rule changes. So rules update 1 brought up terrain markers, something we knew was coming. What we didn't know was coming was the change to the map size. So this is weird, right? I actually, the more that I've thought about this change, I think I like it. I hate to say that because I really like the strategy of Heroclix, and I feel like having that, that setup turn kind of brings in more strategy to the game. But at the end of the day, you're going to need strategy once you get into the action, and that's where most of the strategizing occurs. Strategism. But at the end of the day, strategy isn't dead in Heroclix. You're still going to need strategy and think about turns coming down the pipeline. So the highlight is they're reducing map size down to 16 by 16. You're still going to be able to use your bigger maps, but another change that I think is great is whoever wins initiative doesn't get to go first and choose the map. They have to choose which one they want to do. If you go second, you choose the map. If you go first, you go first, baby. So I really like that change. The next rules update, they don't really actually have it listed here on Heroclix. And I could go through Facebook and find it, but we can also, I wonder if it's here. You're gonna come on a journey with me. Changelog? May 20th, nope, that's not it. Rules questions, comprehensive rules, 2023. So just the questions page has been updated. So annoying. So in lieu of going through and finding the update 3 and 4, what you really need to understand is they're getting rid of Theme Team PCs. the reducing range of anything that has a minimum range of 6 to range of 4. So like it perplexes. Like if you have a character that has perplex but a 0 range, it could perplex a character out 6 squares from their square, but now it's changing to 4. Same with outwit, same with PC, same with mind control, same with smoke cloud, barrier, everything, right? Pulse wave has a locked range of 4 now. It can be modified. It's a replacement value. So you can perplex up a character with pulse wave. You can perplex a range up by 3 and get it pulse wave with a 7 range. Thinking mainly of Deathstroke, right? I feel like he's going to be the main pulse waver that people play, at least until we see what comes out in the upcoming sets. And I kind of brushed over it there, but the big change, the one that everyone hates, we're losing our theme team PCs. And that's going to, I feel like in the short term, until we see what other changes they bring out with these upcoming sets, in the short term, you're going to see a lot of teams that look kind of the same. You're going to see a lot of Venom Magnetos. You're going to see a lot of Scarlet Witches. You're going to see a lot of Scarabs until he retires. You're going to see a lot of Miss Kangs. We're going to go through all the characters that got a big bump from this because there are some that haven't really been talked about. The big one that comes to the top of everybody's mind is Collector, right? Because Collector was huge on the Thanos unthemed or on Thanos themed, obviously, because they both had the cosmic keyword, but he's a huge part of an unthemed tentpole team. And going forward, theme teams, it's important, but it's not, right? So another change, you're locked at +3 for your theme team. So if you have a tentpole or a one-man army that only has 2 or 3 characters on it, but they all share the same keyword, or I guess 1 or 2 characters on it, they still get a +3 to their initiative roll. And that's important in some sense because you get to choose whether to go first or to choose the map. So that could be important depending on how this all shapes out, but you don't get to choose both, and you lose out on your theme team PCs. So having that initiative bonus isn't that important, and in fact, it almost benefits you to go second because the second player gets to see where the first player places their terrain, and then you can place your terrain afterwards if you're going second. Those are the major changes off the top of my head. And again, I'm going to get the guys together. We're going to sit down, have a chat about all the rules changes and, the nuances of it and how it's really going to change the game going forward. But the map sizes are reducing to 16 by 16 instead of 16 by 24. And there's no more theme team PCs, and we're getting terrain markers. Those are the 3 biggest things. There were some changes to powers in the PAC. I guess that's in update 4. Okay, guys, so I went back and I found rules 3 and 4, and there were some important things in there that I didn't think about. Let's go over them real fast. So this is rules update 4 going over pulse wave. Like I said, it's a replacement value of 4 now instead of half range. You still get all the improved targeting abilities and everything else with it. Quake now can destroy blocking terrain and then you make the attack. Destroy all terrain markers and printed pieces of blocking terrain within 1 square, then make a close attack targeting all adjacent opposing characters. So not only do you get rid of the barrier, you also get to attack. So Quake got a huge bump. Super Strength got a huge bump compared to what it used to do, which was practically nothing. Super Strength allows you to pick up terrain. So if they have barrier out, if they have their terrain markers out, like if it's an elevated terrain marker, and you pick that up, you can then smack them with it, and then knockback damage came back. So on top of the damage that they're going to take from the hit, they're going to take that knockback damage because they fell off of that level of elevation. Super Strength got a huge bump. Smoke Cloud didn't really change. Support, you no longer have to make the attack roll, so support got a huge bump. TK, they brought back the TK attack kind of thing, which was great. Minimum rage changed to 4, and now you can TK after being TK'd. So we'll go over some pieces that really like this. The main one that sticks in my mind is the uncommon Doctor Strange from Avengers Forever. So TK kind of got a bump, kind of got a nerf, but it's still very good, very powerful. Improved movement blocking got a huge bump. You no longer have to move through the blocking terrain and then come back to the square you destroyed to sit in that blocking terrain. You can just be on that blocking terrain and it destroys immediately. So that's great. Okay, those are all the pack changes in Rules Update 3. Rules Update 4 was the big one. It brought back the knockback damage. If you get knocked back into a wall or off a level of elevation or off the edge of the map, it's an additional damage. So any character that has free knockback or knockback with their power, it's gotten a bump. What else is there? Okay, so the stages, right? So how things trigger. Like things triggering at the same time, how those occur. So it's no longer, if you're the active player, you get to choose the order of operations. If you're the active player, you choose your order of operations, and then you let your opponent choose their order of operations. So if they have super senses of mastermind, they can roll their super senses before they hit their mastermind. If they have, what's a big piece? Emperor Gladiator. So Emperor Gladiator can roll his impervious now and then decide whether or not to take off the confidence token. Very solid. I feel like this is a huge thing. This is something that's been needed to be addressed by WizKids for a long period of time. Ever since the Dooms came out in Future Foundations, it feels like, it was the first time that everyone looked at beginning of the game effects, because they were great effects that happened at the beginning of the game, but everybody had those pieces, so which ones triggered first? WizKids just said, active player chooses. So that's how it's been ruled with everything else that says at the beginning of the game, X-Men swap and Rise and Fall. What else? What else was? I think that's the main one, are the swap teams, the X-Men swap teams. So great change. Thank you, WizKids. I love this change. I love the knockback coming back. Theme teams are gone. Not sure if I enjoy that. We're going to have to see how the meta plays out and what's in these next sets. I highly expect something to come along to increase, like when Avengers 60th comes out, I highly expect something in there to buff your team if you're running an Avengers theme team. Whether it be a team up card or a trait on, a Captain America or something like that. I hope there's something in there that makes you want to run a theme team, because I feel like that's kind of it's not the core, because, we went through years where Unimind unthemed was what led the meta, right? Unthemed teams, you have to understand, Theme Team PC hasn't always been in the game. It's only been in the game for the past, 5 years. But there are a lot of new players in the game that only know Theme Team PCs. And this extremely nerfs running a theme team. All that aside, we'll go over that, when I get all the guys together. Cross the red line, so you can cross levels of elevation, but you have to stop your movement there. So somebody has charge, but they're not a flyer, or they don't have improved movement elevated, no leap climb, anything like that. They can cross that red line, but then they had to stop there and make their attack from that point. Okay, so we're not going to go over the odds and ends. These are all just, basic little typos that were in the comprehensive rule book. I don't think there's anything huge there. I do remember there was one thing, and again, we're just highlighting. So those are the big points. Now let's get to the fun stuff. The fun stuff is looking at the pieces that got a huge bump with this rules change. God, get out of here. HC Realms ads, dude. They really need to update this. Okay. This one needs to go away. Jaws 5. God. Okay, so see, I got my little Batman here. Let's set that up here. Okay. Pieces that got a huge bump. I want to talk about Scarlet Witch real fast. Scarlet Witch is an area of effect piece that changes how you build your team. She affects a 3x3 square of the map. And on a 16x24 map, that's not that much of an area. But on a 16x16 map, if any of you guys played in the slop event over the past year, those maps are, they're not that big. Especially when you got 4 people playing in it. But they're, 9 squares. Was that 9 squares in a 16x16 area? That's, it's definitely not half the map, but it's a much higher portion of the map than a 16x24. Scarlet Witch got a huge bump, on top of the fact that her special on attack is knockback damage. If you're playing a power canceller and you don't want to run theme, Scarlet Witch is your lady. If you want to run theme, Scarlet Witch is your lady, because that mystical and celebrity keyword is amazing, and you can run it with Deathstroke to piece on whatever other pieces you want to put on there. If they're Justice League pieces, obviously. So Scarlet Witch is a piece that got a huge bump. I just wanted to highlight her real fast. I don't want to do a deep dive into this as far as percentage of the map or whatever. Just understand she affects so much more of the map now on these smaller maps. So if you're running Scarlet Witch, try to put her on a small map. If you're going up against the Scarlet Witch, put her on a big one. Okay, so, and that goes into, obviously, the initiative roll, how it might be better to go second, so you can choose the map and see where your opponent places their terrain. Okay, so let's just go through the list here. We're not going to, advanced search anything or anything like that. We are just going to go through the list of characters that are here. Oh, that's why I like Clicks Nexus, but I feel like we're going to need this advanced search section of the HC realm, so I pulled them up. So, Batman team up. I do want to say something that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. Batgirl at 20 points, very solid piece. 20 point perplex. That gives you the utility belt for free if you want to run any of these theme teams. She didn't get a bump with these rules. I just want to highlight her real fast, just because I saw her. Okay, so, excuse me. Pieces that got a bump. We're looking for pieces that have support that kind of got overlooked. We're looking for pieces that, have a high range with support abilities. We're looking for pieces that maybe deal knockback, but it would have to be like Force Blast is free, something along those lines. We're looking for Quake pieces, super strength pieces that got overlooked, or that just got better. Because when I think super strength pieces in Batman Team Up, I think World's Finest, and World's Finest got a huge bump. Guys, if you don't have this piece, I'm not going to implore you guys to go out and get it, because you can definitely build a team without him. But this point line, 60 point line, if there are less points in him, he gets a rollout of a 4 through 6, and he's only taking 1 damage. Otherwise, he has senses, and he increases his senses roll for each action token he has. So you could give him the Wonder Woman bracelets, and all of a sudden he's a 4 through 6 senses automatically. And if he has an action token on him, he's a 3 through 6 senses. And if he has 2, he's a 2 through 6. I mean, very good piece. World's Finest. So, and I feel like going up, from the legacy cards is the best way to attack Batman Team Up. I do want to say, on top of World's Finest, another legacy that got a huge bump is Hal Jordan and Sinestro. That 10 range. You will always have view of the whole map. Especially with his trait here. Do I constantly need to watch over you? The Felix Faust kind of power. Very solid. He gives you the Green Lantern team ability, 75 points. He dies super easy. Do watch out for that. But then you can bring in a Sinestro or a Hal Jordan. We only have one Hal Jordan at the moment. So Sinestro is probably your pick. Looking back up at him, I believe he was a pulse wave guy at his 75-point line. He has knockback and pulse wave. So you can pulse wave and then knock somebody back 2 squares. And when you pulse wave, it takes away their powers and abilities. So if you knock them back, if you knock them back off of a wall, it's a 3 damage pulse wave, or into a wall off of a level of elevation. You obviously won't get that if you bring him in, because he's coming in on click 4 for Hal Jordan and Sinestro. But if you play him top dial, you are getting that very solid 75-point piece now. Don't know if he's high level meta, because again, with the loss of theme teams, you lose that chance to play some of the suboptimal pieces, like Commissioner Gordon, who needs you to share a keyword for his double TK. Let me see if I can find him. Crazy Jane. There he is. So he needs you to share a keyword for his double TK, but Venom Magneto is only 5 points more, and he doesn't need you to share a keyword. And he has a lot of survivability if you can play it right. Commissioner Gordon does have barriers, so that's something to keep in mind. If you plan on running a detective or a police theme team or something like that, then yeah, you're going to run Commissioner Gordon. But most of the time, you're going to run unthemed going forward. So Commissioner Gordon kind of loses some of that playability. Then another piece, anything that keyword cheated kind of gets thrown out. But I do like the Chief's power. Choose an adjacent friendly character with a Doom Patrol keyword and move them up to 5 squares. A free movement for one of your pieces is amazing, especially when that piece is called Scarlet Witch. So the Chief, I don't think he took a step back necessarily, but keyword cheats are not as important on your team anymore. The Joker, I will say the Joker took a step up. Because his keywords were so bad. He has a celebrity and monster keyword, but he wasn't fitting on any real pieces besides Mary Jane Watson for Mastermind fodder. And having him there and having like something like a Miss King there, which we'll go over her, she's probably going to see high level meta play now. If she wasn't going to before, I think she's an amazing piece. And yeah, anyways, she pops out those Chronal Echo bystanders anytime she PCs. So he is, or I guess once per turn, but he is going to have something to Mastermind to, whether it is her or the Chronal Echo. So the Joker got a step up, in my opinion. Crazy Jane got a huge step up because her keywords are so bad. If you have her, you're playing her 10-point line, at least, if you have the points to spare for that. Let's see, nothing else really in the legacy cards. In the chases, I do want to bring up Fred. Fred got a huge bump. I think no matter what you're playing against, they're going to have a piece with Monster or Mystical, because everyone is going to be playing Venom Magneto or Scarlet Witch or both. So he's a free support. And support, you no longer have to roll the attack. And with Fred, it's for free. I like Fred, especially his 40-point line. TK, you can never have enough TK. I do like Fred now going forward. Some other pieces that got a bump. I guess any of your one-man armies, like a 250-point Darkseid, kind of got a bump, because if you are running a theme team with him, you are automatically going to get +3 to your initiative bonus, and your opponent's not going to get more than that. So you could run a one-man army like Darkseid with his 2 stop clicks, and then like a collector and something else. But you could run that and then have the ability to choose map or go first. I feel like you're going to want to choose map with Darkseid so that you can ensure a smaller map and get that full map reach, but at the same time, going up against the Scarlet Witch with a one-man army kind of ruins your day. Larfleeze? Speaking of one-man armies and tentpoles, I feel like Larfleeze has the most ability besides something like a Deathstroke. He has Protected Outwit. He can generate constructs for free. He can equip himself with your opponent's equipment. Very solid piece. Definitely got a bump. Because you're generally going to run a tentpole or one-man army on an unthemed team. And you could run Larfleeze with, again, the Collector, again with Star Sapphire, Prime Batman, Saint Walker, and that's, less than 300 points. And you have 4 construct generators. So Larfleeze got a bump. Martian Manhunter probably isn't playable anymore. Everyone's going to be running Sicarian Iron Man. Definitely probably not playable. Some of these uncommon and common pieces that are in the set that don't require you to run a theme team, but want to be on a theme team, they definitely lose their edge. I don't know if they would have been able to be played in a high level meta event, but now probably definitely not. So that takes us to Avengers Forever. And in Avengers Forever, there are a lot of pieces in here, and this is kind of where we saw the inklings of where they were taking the meta, where WizKids was wanting to go with the high level play. So you have these Astral Doctor Stranges. They're solid, but I mean, when you can bring them out with something like a Doctor Strange, whose TK wasn't regarded as great because it's only a free TK to target himself, but now he can TK somebody else would TK out your attacker 4 squares, and then Doctor Strange can free TK himself out next to that character, and then TK them out an extra 4. So it's a cheap man's Venom Magneto. So if you want a double TK on your team, you'd have to run another TK with Doctor Strange, which is fairly easy to do in today's game. But Doctor Strange definitely took a huge step up as a poor man's Venom Magneto or a poor man's Polaris. So there's Doctor Strange. What else got a bump? And I want to draw attention again to Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel, he has Force Blast and Pulse Wave, so very solid Pulse Waver. Again, it's 4 squares, not 3 now, and he basically can't be killed by range attacks. And when he gets hit by range attacks, he heals 1 click, and he's got a stop click. So he's a solid piece. If you guys haven't looked at Blue Marvel, I would definitely look at him. I don't know if, again, a lot of this stuff, guys, it's not high level. We'll get into some high level pieces here. Speaking of high level pieces, I feel like the She-Hulk, this is going to play a major part in the meta going forward. If you don't let me go first, I'm going to come to your house and rip up on you. I love the flavor text, and that's another thing we're losing with this rules update. It's a flavor text, but hopefully we keep some of it with these traits. When determining first player, if you weren't first player this game, modify She-Hulk's attack and defense by +1. You can swap out Avengers. So, put those 2 things together, all of a sudden, a theme team becomes kind of, not necessarily great yet, but it becomes a lot more, attractive. A lot more attractive to do. Because if you can choose to be second player, all of a sudden your She-Hulk is +1 to attack and defense. So you're looking at a 12 attack, 19 defense with her. Team player, so you can copy defenders. I don't think you can. If you copy defenders, they'd get her 18. There's something there, though. There is something there. I feel that she is a solid replacement for a theme team. If you want to run Avengers, she also has the Brute to get onto X-Men. Celebrity keyword, Fantastic Four, and S.H.I.E.L.D. But She-Hulk. She-Hulk. She got a huge bump with this set. And another thing that I forgot to mention is the Spider-Man team ability. it has changed to the Wonder Woman team ability. That's something that's been rumored for a long time, and now it's finally come to fruition. I like that change as well. I feel like the Spider-Man team ability should have been that before Wonder Woman team ability was, but I do appreciate the addition of new team abilities anytime we can get them. So I'll take it. Soldier Supreme has seen a lot of look at, right? Because you had the double Saturnine and then his roll kind of thing, and I feel like that is a play style. It's not mine particularly, but with like triple Saturnine, him, and then the Green Lantern legacy card. If you have that piece, you start to get into some money there, but your opponent's not going to be able to hit you, to put it lightly. I mean, they're going to have to roll 12s. So Soldier Supreme, solid piece. Doesn't fit my playstyle, but it might fit yours. Same can be said about the super rare Hulk. Speaking of characters that have super strength. And I'm sure I've missed some things, guys. These are just things that I've thought about. So the super rare Hulk has that crazy trait where he can, roll 2d6s, and if you roll higher, yada yada, you avoid the attack. And he's got the super strength with close combat expert. He is hitting 13 for 5. 13 for 6 if your opponent lets you have that terrain marker, if they put down some barriers. So 13 for 6 with the terrain, 13 for 7 basically if you can pick up an elevated terrain marker and knock them back. Stop regeneration, blah blah blah, secret wit. Battle Fury, close combat expert on the damage power. I like it. I like that Hulk a lot more now. That Defender's team ability with a 19 defense is huge, especially for all of your like Hope Summers or your, what else has wild card? I don't know. Hope Summers is the main one I think of, and she loves the 19 defense. And that Defender's team ability is so overlooked. Iron Hammer has that as well, 19 defense with the Defenders. Tentpole's got a huge bump. Iron Hammer, I feel like he's going to get out. I feel like any Tentpole is going to get out actioned, but if there's one that works, I feel like it's Iron Hammer. That Super Senses rollout is huge. You're gonna have to put the Herald dial on him so that it's protected outwit. But I do like it. Or you could run it with the She-Hulk, right? And then she can select him to be Safeguard, Outwit, and Opposing Perplex. Solid choices there. Arachnite. Oh, Weapon Hex is no longer better than Arachnite. Yeah. Sorry to say. I probably need to go out and get myself one of these. I don't want to. But my God, double stop click, super senses on 4 through 6 now with the change to the Spider-Man team ability. Give him the Soul Sword. He's next to impossible to kill. Just keep him out of Scarlet Witch's range, right? Otherwise, he is a beast. He's a beast, especially at 60 points. I mean, 60 points and you get all this. It's insane. If HC runs. Here we go. HC, come on, baby. Get these ads out of my face. Okay, so we were on Arachnite. So Arachnite got a huge bump, and that takes us to Miss King. So the reason why Miss King got such a huge bump is we no longer have Theme Team PCs. Well, you know who has multiple PCs? Miss King. So between her and your Chronal Echo bystanders that she pops out anytime she uses PC, you're going to have 2 PCs. You're going to have double PC on an attack. She's good. She's really good now. On top of the fact that she is a TKer, she does have Outwit, she doesn't have Perplex until her stop click. But you know what fixes that? A yellow ring. Miss Kang is really good, guys. I preached it in one of my earlier videos. If you haven't seen it, please go back and check it out. But Miss Kang is, in my mind, at the time, was the piece to get from Avengers Forever. Now, I agree with the consensus. Arachnite is very good. Very good. I get it. I get it. Please lower the price. Okay, so Miss Kang. If you have a piece that has protected outwit mastermind, Miss Kang is the one to run. And I was looking at running her with Ultron Pym to update my Avengers theme team once rotation happened. That's obviously probably not going to work anymore because there's not going to be that many theme teams, and Ultron thrives on facing theme teams, or Ultron Pym does. So Miss Kang, she's really good. So good. And a piece that she pairs really well with is Emperor Gladiator. And we'll go over him. I really need to speed this video up. But she's a very solid piece. If you don't have her, go out and get her. I'm sorry. Her price is probably skyrocketed now. I tried to tell you. Go out and get her. She is extremely good. Dormammu Red. Just to speed this video up, Dormammu Red at 100 points does have that protected outwit. He is popping out Mastermind fodder in Mindless Ones and Hydra Agents. That 8 range feels a lot better on a 16x16 map. It just does. On top, and then it doesn't take as many plotting tokens for characters to be adjacent to him. He's good. He's good, guys. I don't think he's, the best. I don't think he's the best. Don't get me wrong here. He's not the best. And he's probably not as good as Arachnite. At 100 points. God dang it, Arachnite's so damn good. Oh, okay, so he's probably not as good as Arachnite, but he's good. He's very good. If you don't want to use your prime slot on Emperor Gladiator, Dormammu Red, very solid 100-point attacker. Okay, so Dormammu Red. Okay, so there's Invincible Ant-Man that we need to talk about. Invincible Ant-Man, I kind of skipped over him. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to speed through this. There are so many characters that got a bump, but Invincible Ant-Man Prime. Those ants have pulse wave, or he can pulse wave through the ants. And they're autonomous. And autonomous is also probably going away. He's good. He's good too. The Iron Grandpa, Bob Gowan, he preached about this guy. And, I listened to him. I went out and got my own. He's a rare prime. But that pulse wave is going to be big. Shutting off powers. He's going to have range of 4 from all of those ants. He's good. He's good. Okay, so I'm going to say he's good a lot. But now, Invincible Ant-Man was good before, but he's a prime. You're going to use your prime slot on Invincible Ant-Man? Really? On a 16x24 map, you got to go 24 squares with those ants. Now you only have to go 14. You only have to go 14 squares with those ants. Really 13, because they're starting on row 2 instead of row 1. So they only have to travel for 13 or 14 squares. Don't make me do math right now, I swear to God. But they only had to go that far. What was their speed again? 6. So a TK would get you up 4. They can move out 6 autonomously, and then he can pulse wave from there. That's full map reach pulse wave. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. There's Invincible Ant-Man. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Kazar is as good as ever. Stature, she has Quake. Her 25-point line, Quake, Charge Plasticity, Close Combat Expert, and Giant Damage Symbol. That could be huge. For 25 points, you're taking down Barrier and making an attack. I do like that. I wish it was full speed, but for 25 points, you get what you get. Regular Ant-Man. Didn't see a bump. He didn't see a bump, but he's still good. He's still good. Reptile. Let's look at him real fast. Flurry Quake. But let's be honest, you're probably on click number 2 with him most of the time, or click number 3 for that move and attack. He hasn't changed in my opinion. He's a, you either hit that 4 through 6 or you don't. Yeah, that's a finicky piece, right? You're either gonna hit it or you're not gonna hit it. Let's see, anything else up here that we're forgetting? Mantis, no. Wonder Man, no. What about the uncommon one? Because he changes into the uncommon one, right? Click number 9, then heal. Wonder Man. Click number 9, then heal. You're going to have to be really lucky to hit that super strength. Yeah, no. Not quite. Red Guardian? No, didn't get a bump. Hold on. Let's look at Bucky again, actually. No, not a huge bump on Bucky. Crimson Dynamo. No. Mindful One got a bump, right? Because of that support power. 25 points for support now is actually important. So he got a bump. Let's see. Novar was terrible. I don't know if they wrote his trait wrong or what, but it's terrible. Blaze Claw's Fangs, charge. No. Baron Mordo, did you get a bump with? Nope. Not a bump. Claw? Kind of did, right? Generate a sound construct blocking terrain marker in a square. That just makes it easier for someone with super strength to come over and hit you. I don't like that. No. Echo? She's pick a power. So she could pretty much do anything you want her to. And if she picks, I guess you can't hypersonic pulse wave still. Dormammu, not a huge bump. Iron Man has pulse wave, so he got a slight bump as well. Miss America, not a huge bump. Sentry, okay, Sentry got a bump, right? Yeah. They don't. Do they have? Okay, so they do. Okay, so yeah. Super strength for 50 points. It's actually important now. Sentry got a bump. So your Prime Sentry might actually be important. You might actually run the 50-point Sentry. So there you have it. Perplex. He's giving out Charge. That's great for Sakarian Iron Man, so you can choose 2 additional powers. That allows your Sakarian Iron Man to choose something like Super Strength and Flurry. And then Sentry gives him Charge. Very good. Very good. Okay, so that's Avengers Forever. Let's go into Exo Swords. I feel like there's not a lot here. That got a bump. And honestly, I'm kind of sick of talking about Exo Swords. Is that fair of me to say? Kind of sick of it? War. Is that Quake? And that is Quake with Giant Reach of 3. So we start with it at low, 45 points. It does. So there's your bump. Juggernaut construct thing. Danger Room construct. He got a bump. Improved movement. He got a huge bump. So yeah, he destroys blocking with his movement, and he destroys the blocking with his Quake. So he got a huge bump. Let's see. Absalom Mercator has that support for 40 points and is great mastermind fodder. So, oh man. Is he playable now? Is Absalom Mercator playable? I almost checked the keywords. They don't matter. So Absalom Mercator might be playable. I feel like that's a trap. But this point, click, and deal 2 penetrating damage is fairly... I like it. You know, I like it. And you can regenerate off of it. Man, oh man, oh man. That would be fun. That would be fun. Nimrod Prime obviously got a bump. If you are wanting to play this Prime, that single target pulse wave is now a range of 4. Instead of 3, then yeah, you're playing a low. Nimrod the Lesser didn't have pulse wave, right? No. No pulse wave. Monarch, he got a bump just because there's going to be a lot of terrain. In the meta, free remove a terrain marker from this card. Choose one, generate a terrain marker of that type in a square within range, or remove a terrain marker of that type in a square within range. So you can remove your opponent's terrain. He also has pulse wave and power. Yeah, Monarch got a huge bump. Huge bump for Monarch. Abigail Brand, no. This piece is so good. I don't know why nobody's playing with her, but she's very good. I guess she's keyboard cheating, but so she probably won't see any play going forward. And Lady Roma. Oh, man, this was my favorite chase in this set. It was my favorite chase in this set, and because there weren't a lot to pick from, obviously, from this set. And I did not like Annihilation. It didn't fit. That mastermind stuff doesn't really fit me. But Lady Roma, God, I'm going to be testing her out again. No longer have to make that attack roll with that measly 10 attack for support. And that got me in trouble a couple times. I do like her. She gets Force Blast on this back end, so she's knocking people back from 7 squares away. And that 7 range is a lot more important. I like her. I like her. Legacy cards, obviously you have the Apocalypse, who is always going to be good. Fabian Cortez. Yeah, that's annoying and not useful. Once per turn, when just one makes you may choose to modify the attack by +1, +2, or +3. If you do that, roll a d6. Ooh. Empower, enhancement, and leadership. Not great. Apocalypse, I don't feel like he got a bump necessarily. He's just good. And he always will be. Always will be. Okay, so that's X of Swords. Tired of talking about it. Same with Disney Plus, honestly. I'm kind of tired of talking about Disney Plus. But there is a lot in here that got a bump. The Common Scarlet Witch at 35 points got a big bump. That Force Blast and support is huge. Now this 17 defend doesn't make any more sense. So that's kind of like a blank dial on her defense. So she's probably going to die fairly quickly, but you get the Avengers Initiative to copy onto your wild cards so that they can see through stealth. It's something to think about. I feel like support is going to play a major role again in the meta going forward, and she is a cheap one at that. Getting into some earlier sets that I haven't really looked at. Power Broker. So Power Broker, extra good 25-point prime. If you're running a 10-pole, or shoot, if you're running Saki and Scarlet, right? She can make it so that they are never pushed out. Hopefully, right? If you're rolling above a 4 through 6, at least once in 2 turns, she can clear their action tokens. The full map reach on that, super good prime. And I feel like she got a big bump because her keywords were terrible. The main one being ruler. Yeah, she has terrible keywords. So she got a big bump. She's a prime that had terrible keywords that might actually see play going forward. U.S. agent. I feel like we got a bump. She's got super strength. Yeah, he got a bump. I like U.S. agent. Not my cup of tea, but he did get a bump. Okay, so the Super Spider-Man got a huge bump. So that Spider-Man team ability gives him +1 to his D6 rollout for super senses. He has Quake to take away your opponent's barrier, and he already had 4 through 6 senses. So now it's 3 through 6 senses, guys. He comes equipped with the cloak if you pay for 5 points. And yeah, very hard to kill. They are going to have to outwit that super senses to kill him, basically. They're never going to feel good about it. You had to roll a 1 or 2 to fail. So they're going to have to outwit the senses. That means he's going to have his combat reflexes. That means he's harder to kill from up close. And he's generally going to be up close with that Quake. And now a 10-speed charge isn't so bad. You can get across the map with a couple TKs and a 10-speed charge. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Also want to highlight Agnes here. Agnes is a character that... Hold on. Okay. Agnes is a character that it's like the emotional modifier for me. I never want to put it on my team, but when I do, I feel so good. Agnes is very good. Prime Vision got a huge bump. That full speed movement before he makes his attack is so good. And it's a flurry attack. Yeah. Plasticity, can't use improved abilities. I don't like it. I like this vision. Very solid. His defense is protected outwit. Invincible super senses willpower. Yep. I like vision. The Watcher. Yeah, weird. So weird. It's weird power. We already talked about Scarlet Witch, and everything I said about Scarlet Witch also applies to Agatha. Agatha is a lot easier to get across the map with her free 4-square placement. So keep that in mind. Agatha doesn't need Mad Gem on the board to give her the angler to get that full map. Scarlet Witch does. On top of, she does have double bolt mind control. And mind control is still a super powerful ability. Besides that, guys, that's Disney Plus. Let's go into War of the Realms. And I'm back. I'm back for some more deep dives, guys. Sorry about that. Little snafu there, but here we go again. So we've gone over some of the more recent sets. We're kind of diving into some of the sets that are, on the periphery of retirement. But, I mean, they're not retiring with this next slew in July 1st. I believe is when retirement happens. So, diving into War of the Realms, I've gone over Disney Plus, Batman Team Up, Avengers Forever, and X of Swords. Ugh, so sick of X of Swords. But there are some little hidden gems in there. Just to reiterate some of the pieces that we've gone over. The Super She-Hulk from Avengers Forever. the Uncommon Doctor Strange. Disney Plus, I don't think I went over Collector, but Collector is definitely there. I went over Scarlet Witch and Agatha. Sakari and Iron Man is going to see every team going forward. And then after that, it's kind of, it's not really there. The 100 Spider-Man does interest me because he is going to be insanely hard to KO at 50 points. 4 through 6 senses. Starts to give him the cloak, obviously. Stop on the defensive power when another friendly character is KO'd after resolutions. Heal a friendly character 1 click. That includes Spider-Man. So whenever one of his bystanders is KO'd, he can heal. Perplex, when Spider-Man uses it to target a friendly character that doesn't share a keyword until your next turn, that character has a spell. Okay, so yeah, this piece got a huge bump. He can give somebody that doesn't share a keyword with him the Spider-Man team ability. That is a huge bump. Spider-Man team ability, again, is 4 through 6, or sorry, it's senses on a 6. If they already have senses, it is 4 through 6 senses. His keywords are Avengers, Scientist, and Spider-Man Family. So you can run this on a celebrity theme team, maybe. Give celebrity, you're looking at a bunch of Avengers anyways from Disney Plus. But you could run it with Deathstroke, give Deathstroke that Spider-Man team ability or something along those lines. There's a lot there, right? Anything that has senses top dial loves this piece. Iron Hammer with the Herald dial does not love this piece because they both have the Avengers keyword. So that takes some, finagling, but there's something there, and if somebody finds it, great. Venom Magneto loves this piece. Any of the Venom pieces that don't have shape change. When shape change was benched for, was that Empire? Empire, Rise and Fall. One of the two. And we're about to go over those. So this, number 100 Spider-Man, definitely a piece to look for if you haven't gotten it, or if you didn't get it whenever this set dropped. Okay. That being said, let's go into War of the Realms. And hopefully, going forward, we don't miss as many things. I'm going to kind of click through here. I don't want to spend too much time, but Thor at 75 has Quake. That's kind of a bump to him. He's not that great otherwise. Captain America, no. This Scarlet Witch is just plain good, but that 30 points for PC, she'll probably see a little bit more play, possibly. The Executioner doesn't have anything cool. Black Panther, Stealth Blades, no. Stealth Senses with PC. So these Lokis, right, the 50, and then you can add as many as you want for 10, might actually see some play here, and they don't share any keywords with that Spider-Man, so that Spider-Man can give these Lokis the Spider-Man team ability. Okay, so that's good. This Spider-Man has traded senses, so he'll be a 4 through 6. Charge, Quake, Outwit, 60 points. Friendly characters that are adjacent or have the Avengers keyword can use super senses. All of a sudden that becomes kind of good, right? Yeah, all of a sudden that becomes really good. So this Spider-Man is decent. Then you have the Black Widow that gives them all stealth. Team player as well, so she can copy that Spider-Man team ability. And then you can run them together, and she would have 4 through 6 senses. So you could run this Spider-Man with Hope Summers, and Hope Summers could copy the Spider-Man team ability. Let's find them. Run this Spider-Man with Hope Summers and Black Widow together, and now you're looking at 4 through 6 senses on those 3 pieces, as well as stealth on everybody. I mean, Hope already has stealth, but you get stealth on Spider-Man. and then whatever other Avengers you want to throw on there. Scarlet Witch and Saki. How many times have you chosen stealth with Sakari and Iron Man when he's pushed out? Quite a bit, huh? If you didn't have to choose stealth, maybe there's something else there that you might want to pick. All that being said, this Spider-Man and this Black Widow that can copy the Spider-Man team ability all of a sudden becomes a thing. Not that they weren't a thing before, they just usually didn't make the top team for Avengers, and they still might because there are a lot of great Avengers out there, but you have that ability. Okay, going into the uncommons of War of the Realms, you have the uncommon Thor, who's a range attacker, the Captain America, who doesn't do anything. He's a recruiter. Meh. PC on that Vision, it's okay. Enchantress for 75, no. Scourge, no. Groot with the Giant Reach 3 Quake, but deals 3 damage instead of 2. Very good. This Groot, I feel like, was a very underrated piece just because it was an uncommon, and it came out after Sky Tyrant, who's 50 points, and if you're going to run Groot at 55 points, why not just run Sky Tyrant at 50? And that's kind of going to be the theme. It's going to be the theme, you know, with the lack of theme teams, the theme is going to be why run this piece when you can get this piece cheaper and it does it so much better. So Groot, great piece now, right? It's great, but without theme teams, you're probably never going to run it. Okay, so Groot got a bump. Don't know if it was good enough. Going through here, Shang-Chi is incapacitate. Kid Loki has always been good. I feel like it's not this Kid Loki. It's the Disney Plus Kid Loki. So once the emotional modifier goes away, the Disney Plus Uncommon Kid Loki might become a little bit more played a little bit more. It might be played a little bit more. Leadership, shape change, unique modifier, free. Choose a combat value other than damage until your next turn. Kid Loki has opposing characters within range and line of fire modify the chosen value -1. Kind of like the emotional modifier, kind of not. The emotional modifier doesn't require line of fire. That's what makes it so great for this -1. But if you can position correctly, this Kid Loki does a lot of the same things. So that's one to think about as well, because we are losing that emotional modifier. So that Kid Loki's not good. This Angel is not good. This Donald Blake, I remember being decent. When Donald Blake makes a close attack, his targets can't use defense powers. If you can get this up there, I mean, he's getting through the barrier with that Quake. They can't use senses. They can't use stop clicks. They can't use invincible. They can't use... He's just dishing out 2. The hard part is keeping him alive, and he's 90 points. So, probably not going to see play. Thor, no. Moon Knight, no. Black Knight, no. King Ulick, no. Rock Trolls that he pops out. What do they look like? Just charge? No. Are they? They're not autonomous. So no. Curse, charge, sidestep, giant reach 2. There are a lot of equipped characters in the game now, so taking a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks or attacks from equipped characters, that is actually kind of big. In fact, I'm going to start throwing some characters over here. So Curse, what else did I say? Said the common Spider-Man. And then I also said the common Black Widow because she has that team, that wildcard team ability. So I'm going to start throwing some characters over here on the left-hand side. So Curse is something to think about because we all, I don't know about you, but every time I team build, I have Scarab in the back of my mind. I know that's going to be a piece that I see until it retires, it rotates out. This Curse has a whole nother year after Scarab. So he might be a thing. I mean, for 60 points, he's not great. Charge side, he's got a lot of reach. Charge, sidestep, giant reach of 2. So he's got a 7 square charge with the sidestep, 8 squares with the giant reach. So a TK out 4 plus 8 is 12. He's almost got full map reach, guys. You know, put a couple perplexes into him. If you have a team, if you're going up against a team that's like heavily invested in their equipment, say they got a He's got warrior keyword. Say they got a Mad Jim Jaspers on their team. He's got warrior keyword, so he does fit on X-Men swap. Curse might be something to think about. So, and then we go into Mary Jane, whose keyword sheet's not good anymore. Captain Marvel, 50 points for nothing. Charge. I mean, she does a lot, but if you're gonna run this, why don't you just run World's Finest, or why don't you just run Sky? You know, no. She got a bump, but not good enough. Wasp, not good enough. Thunderstrike, Pensight, Quake. This is just a funny dial. Nah, it's never gonna be good. Valkyrie, Blades, Claws, Fangs, can reduce pension, made by non-adjacent characters. Reduce the damage taken by one in addition to other effects. If she hasn't seen play before, she won't see play going forward. Wrecker. Let's see his Wrecking Crew, because he was like the closest thing to mission points. You do have a sidestep, Quake, improved movement, blocking. He was the closest thing that we got to a mission point dub. Wrecker. I think he even did have a couple mission point dubs, and mission points might be a thing because theme teams don't matter, and the best mission point characters don't share keywords. So you could run Wrecker with, Indigo 1, with Wonder Woman, with any of the other great, with Miss Minutes, with any of the other great mission point pieces. So that's something to think about. This is your prime slot, so if you play him, you're kind of selling out for those mission points. But if you can build a mission point team, which I think you can now, that's not something I've looked at. But I bet there's a way. I bet you can make it work, because it was really close with the Wonder Woman that came out in Batman Team Up. I know Tyler Spees from Clicksoft was working on it, but that's something to think about. Charge don't have speed if her Mjolnir marker is not on the map. It would be great if she started with Quake. So, impervious energy. 100 points if she hasn't seen play. She won't see play going forward. This one throws the hammer. If it hasn't seen play, we'll see it again. Daredevil, Gamora. Ooh, Gamora Prime. Okay, so did she get better? No. A lot of attacks, though. I don't think she got better. I don't think she got better with the update. So we won't highlight her. Hela with the Drugger Warrior didn't get better. This Valkyrie charge. Unless she has generated a Mr. Horse balance per game. Free generator Mr. Horse. When a character damaged by Valkyrie this turn would be KO'd but isn't, after resolutions modify Valkyrie's combat values by +1 this game. That is really good, because Death Metal Wonder Woman is going to see a lot of play. Free, choose a standard attack or standard damage power printed on Valkyrie's card. Valkyrie can use the chosen power until she chooses again. You're always choosing PC, right? You might, PC or CCE. Or Blades? No, not Blades. Yeah. Okay. This Valkyrie, I'll put her over here, because she can full speed charge, full map now, and then drop Mr. Horse Bystander for that second attack. Right? Don't have speed unless she has generated 8 Mr. Horse Bystander this game. Once per game, free. Yeah, so she could full speed charge, get across the map, and then drop Mr. Horse. And this might be the way going forward to use a Sky Tyrant kind of shenanigan. After he rotates, I'm going to put her over on the left-hand side. She's 100 points. Don't get me wrong, she's overcost. But we don't know what's coming out in the sets going forward. And depending on what you want to do, Deity has a really good team up card. Depending on what you want to do here, this might be a good play. So I'll put her over on the left-hand side. And then this Doctor Strange, the super rare Doctor Strange from War of the Realms, I feel like hasn't gotten the love it needs. The Apocalypse really loves this guy. Free once per turn for all characters with a trait. Choose a friendly character with a mystical keyword. This turn, when the chosen character attacks after resolutions, deal a hit target 1 penetrating damage. So Apocalypse has Flurry. He's going to be hitting multiple times. Doctor Strange loves that Apocalypse. That Apocalypse loves this Doctor Strange. The issue is he's flimsy. He's flimsy, and that recruiter power, you could use that for mindless ones to get him power on the board, but I don't know if that's worth it, right? It's only 20 points that you're giving up, but you give that up immediately. I like this Doctor Strange. I've tried building a mystical team around him before. I haven't tried since the new rules came out. But I feel like if you're going to build theme going forward, the strongest theme is going to be X-Men, X-Men, Mystical, and then what else is there? You know what I mean? There's not that much out there. Maybe Ruler with Blackheart and Emperor Gladiator, something along those lines. You also have the Apocalypse to deal with. That might be a thing. I don't know if it's going to be strong enough. I've preached on this channel in the past that no matter what you play, you can make it meta if you know what you're doing with it. And that's true to an extent, even now. But if you don't have those top echelon pieces, you're always going to be at a disadvantage. If you don't have Venom Magneto, if you don't have Scarlet Witch, if you don't have, what's another one? If you don't have Apocalypse, Apocalypse might not be, he might not be on all of those teams, but Scarlet Witch and Venom Magneto for sure will. Sicarian Iron Man for sure will. Those three pieces, if you don't have those three pieces, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Now, Polaris is a solid substitution for Venom Magneto, and the uncommon Doctor Strange can't do the same thing. It just requires an extra action. All that out of the way. Let's keep going. So Valkyrie, Doctor Strange, I don't think he's got the love he needs. I'm even going to throw him over on the left-hand side. He didn't get better with this rules update, but I feel like he needs some loving. Crusader. Okay, hold up. Close combat expert or energy shield deflection. Improved movement characters. Quake. Good for Avenger swap. I still don't think he's there because he's not protected outwit, but he did get a lot better. He's also got the 75 point line. And I'm going to throw that over on the left-hand side. It did get better, guys. I'm telling you, there's a lot in here, but okay. Now, the Prime Destroyer is probably the best Prime in the game going forward. That 10 range, you're going to be able to see the entire map no matter where you put him at in the mid-game. Depending on what you want to do. Now, if you're running like a Scarlet Witch, get up there and Chaos Marker them turn 2 immediately kind of team, you might want to put on Mad Jim Jaspers. In fact, it's either Mad Jim Jaspers or Khazar to get you there. So, Mad Jim Jaspers is still a play, right? But with only 6 sideline game elements, that was another change. Again, we'll go over all the changes, but I feel like they've been gone over more than enough. But with only 6 sideline game elements, you don't have as much room for those extra equipment for Mad Jim to bring onto the board. And this Destroyer, that 10 range, I think there's only one other modern character that has a 10 range. I think Uatu does, and then the Hal Jordan and Sinestro. I think those are the only 2 characters. that 10 range, and he's hitting like a truck, right? Those other two characters, they're not hitting that hard. They just, finagle with the map and like PC and TK and turn off your opponent's perplexes, that kind of thing. This destroyer's hitting like a truck from 10 squares away. And I love it. This destroyer's probably the prime to play going forward. After that, you got the 150 point Thanos, who is never good, because you have the 175 point Thanos, who's just 10 times better. Malekith is played with the Wonder Woman, mission point thing. So if you want to go that route, you can. I always think he's 200 points, but he's only 100 points. Very solid piece if you're going mission points. This Black Widow is still not good, right? Is a Lurker? Did Lurker get better? No. No, it did not. Nope, it did not. Okay, so Black Widow did not. Human Torch. Still a lamp thing, still not good. Doctor Strange did not get better. Rocket Raccoon did not get better. Venom, no. Spider-Man, so the War of the Realms Spider-Man got better. Oh my god. If you have this and you don't play it, that's on you. I would play this with Arachnite. I mean, you had the two coolest pieces. Who cares? I think it's still theme, right? Spider-Man family. It's got to be Spider-Man family. But you don't even have to run it as a theme. Screw that. The Spider-Man team ability with his PC and Arachnite Heroclix, out of this world, guys. This Spider-Man, you could even Herald Dial him. I think that's the play. And then give like the Wonder Woman bracelets to Arachnite or the Soul Sword to Arachnite. Something along those lines. Both of them are very good. And if you have them, I implore you to play them. Another piece that got insanely so much better is the Chase She-Hulk from War of the Realms. Super Strength is back, guys. You can pick up terrain. The special terrain is going to be more than a +1 to your damage whenever you make a close attack with it. So, if She-Hulk uses an object action, increase the damage dealt by 1. So she has CCE, right? So I don't know if you're playing her at 100. You could. If you're playing her at 100, she's hitting 13 for 5. And if she's holding a object, she's hitting 13 for 7. What? But she's also a free TK, and she can generate heavy objects. So she's going to have an object there able to pick up and use in that attack. Or she should if you maneuver correctly. But this She-Hulk got a lot better. Her 50-point line is just her last 3 clicks. And if you're playing her here, you're probably using her more for her free TK. And, this probably is what pairs really well with Uncommon Doctor Strange. Free TK your character out there. Doctor Strange free TKs himself out. And then 1 power action to TK out your attacker. So that's probably the way it works best with the Uncommon Doctor Strange. Something about the She-Hulk's very good. Iron Man, still lackluster. Thor. This is the recruiter Thor for Asgardians, Charge Quake. He's not going to see any play. Bulldozer, I'm sure one of these guys has Quake, right? He has knockback. 6 points. If Bulldozer is different, takes a maximum of 2 damage from attacks. That's pretty good. Okay. He's got pseudo protected outwit. He's alright. He's okay. He hasn't seen that destroy blocking terrain markers got so much better. But, not good enough probably for him to see play. Hogun also didn't get that much better. Thor and Loki, no. I don't even know why I'm going over these. Everybody knows that these that they didn't really get legacy cards right until X of Swords, and they dropped that Apocalypse one. Valkyrie, Meh, Surtur, and Ymir are, I mean, they're good. They're like the only Colossus Brutals in the game that we have outside of Volcom and Abominus. So if you have these guys and you want Colossal Retaliation on your team, put them there. But otherwise, meh. Okay, so that's War of the Realms. Let's go at Empire. Okay, Empire, which one was this? This was the Ultron Pym, Captain Marvel. Okay, Demon in Armor. This was the Venom Magneto one. So, yeah. And Ricky Barnes is really good too. If you guys haven't played with her, definitely give her a shot. She's a lot of fun to play with. Insanely difficult to KO. Yeah, she's really good. And she didn't have the greatest keywords. Like, you were playing her on Soldier or Fantastic Four, but she wasn't really fitting on the Fantastic Four team because of what they wanted to do. So I feel like she got a bump. This Wolverine, I love this Wolverine. The 130 or 60.1. I love him. Chase Beast. If you don't have Scarlet Witch or Agatha, you need Chase Beast. The Chase Thanos was never that great. Demon in Armor. Guys, I use this guy, and let me tell you, he's insanely good. He is insanely good. Like, so good. So good. Yeah, and he honestly, he looks great on the board. But he didn't get better with the rules update. I'm just lamenting how good he was. Thor, Chase, don't ever play that one. God, terrible. Mr. Fantastic, I feel like he took kind of a step back because he's not as needed to get rid of barrier markers. There are other ways to do it now. He does have that Quake Giant Reach of 3, so he can, go in there, Quake, and then remove all the debris markers. Still a very good piece. I guess he didn't really take a step back, but he's not as needed for your Avengers teams. Venom Rogue, meh. Marvel, no. Did he get weirder? No. Super Scroll. Leadership should change. No. Nope. Kitty Pryde. No. Infamous Iron Man. I've been looking at trying to play this guy. I don't think it's there. So, Koi, definitely not. Venom Iceman. The only reason you were playing this guy was to get barrier on a monster team. That was the only reason he was ever played. He's not there. Ultron Pym took a huge step back. Kind of salty about it. This Wolverine, so guys, I think there's a way to make a team with him and Martian Manhunter. I don't know what it is, but I think there's a team out there that can't be targeted. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Martian Manhunter, Wolverine, and I think there's another Wolverine out there that does something very similar to this. It's the Fantastic Four super rare Wolverine who can't die as long as there's someone that shares a keyword with him on the board. So, yeah, you can make a don't die team or can't be targeted team. Yeah, that's really good. Hulkling. I feel like Hulkling might have taken a step forward because Ultron Pym took a step back. But that's the only reason. Roland, pick a power. Not a huge step up. This Magneto, no. T'Chaka is a prime that never saw play. Yeah. With the amount that people are playing Saturnine and everything, this might be the prime they want to put on there. Once per turn, when an opposing character within range makes an attack, after all rerolls and dice replacements, you may roll a d6 and subtract half of the result before finalizing the attack roll. You might want to play that with Saturnine. Again, that's your prime slot, so you're taking off Destroyer or your Magic Jaspers. So, but that's a prime that a lot of people have forgotten about, myself included. Black Panther, Venom Marvel Girl, Telekinesis. Not bad, right? She's never been bad. She's just never been played, so she won't see play. Knowing the Human Torch, Deadpool's always been a sideline guy. Scarlet Witch. Outwitting PC. There it is, baby. 50 points. 1 on friendly attack rolls when an opposing character within range and line of fire. Right. You're running Mr. Sinister instead of her from Slop. So no. Madam Hydra. No. Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau. No. I've always thought about playing with her. Just never did it. Never did it. Colossus. This guy. Passenger 2, fit in. Make a close attack. Or. He's got full map reach now, guys. He's got full map reach now. He's got that PC now. Free, choose a friendly sidekick. The chosen sidekick has Mystic's team ability until your next turn. At the beginning of the game, choose another friendly character with a Jean Grey skull for higher learning keyword. The chosen character is considered a sidekick this game. I don't think there's that many. Probably not worth it. Not worth the 125 points. But he does have blades, so you could run Apoc Genesis. And all of a sudden, he's bladesing for 5 for free, Pastor 2, so he can carry up 2 other people. And they don't have to share a keyword with him. I'm going to put him over there, because now he's got full map reach on the smaller maps. Yeah, where's he at? I'm going to put him over there. Sunspot. This guy almost made my sideline. In fact, I think he did when I ran Avengers, but he's not good enough. Kitty Pryde. No. Gamora. Prime type. Gamora. No. Requiem. No. Princess Anakna Ranky. Team player with scrolls. No shape change. Yeah. Taskmaster. Jesus. What kind of Taskmaster is this? You know, terrible. Jubilee, the uncommon one. No. Beldan, no. Ghost Rider, no. Venom Cyclops. Does have knockback when he makes attacks. And the symbiotic trait. Probably not. Daredevil. He was always played at the 25-point line. And that's 25 points for PC. It's not bad. Kind of got better with the lack of theme team PCs in the game. Quicksilver, no. Wasp, no. Agent May, no. Loki. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but I like the other Loki better. Uncommon Iron Man. They just never do Iron Man right. Dazzler. Kind of an unsung hero in this set. I really like Dazzler. Raxor. Jesus. He's kind of cool, but no. Brawn. Team player. And you know what? Team player with Avengers. I'm kind of going to be looking for that going forward with that Spider-Man. Kind of looking for team player Avengers. Close combat expert and outwit. Give him the sword for giant reach or something like that. That Spider-Man has me thinking maybe, but no, probably not. Wiccan does have Avengers and his team player with Mystical. Choose from friendly characters modify defense +1 if they can use a defense ability that Wiccan can use. Or a team ability. Yeah, Wiccan kind of takes a step up with that Spider-Man. Team ability change. Golden Oldie, Invisible Woman, Black Bolt. Anome. This She-Hulk, no. The Thing. Probably not worth it. 10 attack is nasty. That sounds so good, that attack power, but it's never come into play. Storm. Energy explosion with knockback. She kind of takes a step up. In fact, I'm going to take her over there. This Jean Grey. Nope. Any Spider-Man team ability guy that has super senses takes a huge step up. 65 points for running shot, incap, outwit. Probably not it. Probably not it. There's probably a better Spider-Man out there, including the chase. So I'm not going to add it over to the left. But a lot of these are very good. Okay, that was actually better than I thought, right? Did I go over? So Venom Magneto, obviously he's going to see every team. Yeah, I went over this, right? I went over Venom Magneto. Venom Wolverine. Guys, Venom Wolverine, if you guys haven't seen Isaac's team being played at Worlds, this might be the best piece in the game. It's close. She's attacking every turn. Every turn. And if you run her with APOC, she has a rollout. With that team player, team ability, she can copy, I don't know, how about Spider-Man team ability? She's really good. She is extremely good. I'm not going to say go out and get her if you don't have her, because you don't need to play with her to build a great team. But she is really good. Okay, now on to Rise and Fall. Now, Rise and Fall is kind of where we hit the edge of rotation. Going forward, every set after this is rotating out on July 1st. This set, probably not. Rise and Fall probably will not rotate out on July 1st. But keep that in mind that these pieces, they're going to have another year. They'll have another year of playability, and that includes the X-Men swaps. And I really want to get a Hellfire swap in at some point. I don't think it works, though. I don't think there's enough there. This is not loading. What the hell? Thank you. And here comes the ads. I don't want the ads. So Rise and Fall. Okay. Let's go through this. We'll go through from commons down. Wolverine, no. Darwin, didn't work. Jesus. You forget how bad some of these pieces were until you get flashbacks of pulling them multiple times from a booster. Impulse, no. Smasher. Charge Flurry, Quake, Poison, exploit weakness and power. He's got 35. Yep. If you could pick a defensive power here, I'd say yeah, but no. Nope. This Colossus is the support as free one. He definitely took a huge step up for his rally mechanic. No, this is the impervious one, right? Yeah. Yeah. The protected outwit impervious. With Quake, he takes a step up. He takes a step up. I won't put him over there, guys. I won't put him over there. Brood, no. Blob, probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Can they just make a Cyclops with a 10 rain? I feel like you should have it. Arclight. Obviously, they won't do it anymore. Quake, when Arclight hits a single opposing character with a close attack or uses close destroy, after resolutions, he can use Quake as free. Quake as free after an attack. I'm going to throw Arclight over there. That's not a piece I ever thought about being good, but dang, girl. And again, all these pieces, they just got better, with the rules update. I don't know if they're going to see play. In fact, they probably aren't. What you're probably going to see, I've said it before, I'm going to keep preaching this, you're going to see Scarlet Witch, Venom, Magneto on every single team. That's what you're going to see, and they're going to have some way to drop the Chaos marker turn 2. That's what you're going to see. And then a bunch of stuff that makes it better. So, like, my idea is Venom, Magneto, Polaris, Sicarian, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Magnum, Jaspers. I can switch Scarlet Witch over to the Angler, and then Chaos marker turn 2, and follow up with Sicarian and Iron Man in the same turn, because I have 2 double TKs with Venom, Magneto, and Polaris. There's a lot out there, guys. But there's a lot out there, but most of it's not going to see play going forward. That's just the nature of this rules change. And if you guys weren't around at a time when Theme Team PCs weren't a thing, and Unimind wasn't a thing, then hold on to your britches, because the meta is about to take a turn. I'm not going to say it's a turn for the worst. I don't think it is. I think you're going to see a lot of differences in that makeup of Venom, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, but those 2 pieces should be on almost every build. Either Venom, Magneto, and Agatha, or Venom, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch. One of those 2 pieces. You're going to have a Witch on there. You're going to have Venom, Magneto on there. And they're going to have the ability to drop a rune or a Chaos marker on you turn 2. So, on a small map. Probably not on a big map anymore, but on a small map. That's where the rules change, kind of. I like it, right? Like if you see yourself up against that, you can pick a smaller map or a bigger map. Okay, so Arclight, Mystique, no. Longshot, no. Moira, no. Banshee, no. Polaris, this Polaris. Free, remove Polaris' rally die to knock back a character within range and modifier 5 squares in a direction of your choice. For 35 points, that's not bad. I'm going to put her over here. I'm going to do it. I don't think people play her, but she has a huge bump. Magneto, the swap pieces, screw them. Callisto, no. Brew, no. X-23, no. Corsair, no. Iceman, no. Sebastian Shaw. Okay, so he swaps over to this dial. No one's going to play this piece. I'm going to tell you right now, no one's going to play this stupid piece, but I'm not even going to add it. No one's going to play it. Nermani, no. Kid Gladiator, no. Hepzibah, no. Blink, no. Exodus, no. He's outshined, no. Malice, I don't know, actually, guys. I think this is a piece that a lot of people have forgotten about. 95 points. You can get so much for 95 points. Yeah, he's a no. No, Destiny, no. Ooh, Destiny. Hold up. 35 points. PC kind of stuff. 35 points for that? No. Big red, no. The Prime? Oh, this one red. Okay, so this Omega Red does have Quake and Giant Reach 3 with Exploit Weakness. And when he starts the game, he generates this guy. Empower. Oh, if Kotick is within 4 squares of an opposing character, place Omega Red adjacent to Kotick. And that's a power action. When Kotick is KO'd by an opponent's attack, modify Omega Red's combat values by +1 for the rest of the game. That's that Silver Surfer stuff from Fantastic Four. This piece is autonomous. Or the bystander is. You know what? I'll throw him over there. Yeah, another piece I don't think is ever played, but this is the Omega Red Prime. Generates 3 Flurry when Omega Red hits. All hit characters modify attack and damage -1 until your next turn. Stop combat reflexes. Not worth. So Omega Red, Mr. Sinister. No tempo. Don't need them anymore. Don't need tempo anymore. You have peepers. You don't need tempo. Warstar. A Beanie Bystander. Not bad. PC, but can only target himself or beneath. Meh. Dakin, no. Hold up. Dakin. Charge sidestep stealth. When Dakin uses charge while he occupies hindering terrain, he does not have speed. When Dakin hits, give each hit character a poison token. Characters with poison tokens can't be healed and can't use stop for the rest of this game, even if this ability is lost. Dakin moves over to the left. And if you guys need an explanation, he's got sidestep and full speed charge. If he starts in hindering terrain, you can generate your own terrain at the beginning of the game. He's got full map reach. Full map reach for Dakin. Very good. Chode. The Chode. No. Nope. Okay, getting into the super rares, Emperor Vulcan at low is actually pretty good. Leadership Mastermind, Unoutwittable type. Kind of your Emperor Gladiator light. Friendly characters with the Shi'ar Creeper that occupy reducing modify attack +1. Yeah, this guy's decent. He's got that 8 range. He is Emperor Gladiator light. If you don't have an Emperor Gladiator, go find yourself an Emperor Vulcan. Does a lot of the same things. He just can't reduce penetrating damage like Emperor Gladiator can, but he does have that unoutwittable Mastermind, and he is popping out Mastermind fodder. Okay, so Emperor Vulcan, decent. Deathbird, still meh, right? Yeah, still meh. Emma Frost, still meh. Deacon, still meh. Blackheart, guys. Blackheart is one of the characters that really takes advantage of the Soul Sword. I'm going to throw him over on the left-hand side. He didn't get better with the rules change. Except he did, because now he doesn't need ATK. He just has full map reach. Alright now. Blackheart, Corvus Rixer, Blazeclaw's Fangs, no. Brood Queen, no. Angel, no. Gladiator, this one. Special and damage. Leadership, Close Combat Expert. Vampire Dial. No, you're running this dude. You're running this dude, man. I played the game when the vet Superman from Icons was a thing, and you guys know what? I think I'm about to have some flashbacks. I think I am. We're gonna have this guy yo-yoing the map on those small maps. You gotta put this guy on a big map, probably. If you're sitting across the table from Emperor Gladiator, you gotta hope you win map roll to put him on a big map. He is... So, you run him with Venom Magneto. Maybe on an X-Men swap, maybe not. Right? It doesn't need to be anymore. But you run him with Venom Magneto. You're running shots out 7. Has that 8 square reach. Can shoot through a piece of blocking terrain. And hit you with the pumpkin bombs. For energy explosion, pen psych. Now he has a confidence token. Right? So even if you do hit him, he can just roll it. On top of the fact that he can just take that off and not deal damage. Now he gets his rollout for Impervious on top of it. So if he rolls his Impervious, he doesn't have to take the freaking confidence token off anymore. And then Venom Magneto can TK him back to the starting area. And then you can bury up around him, and now he's next to all of his Mastermind fodder. This piece is so good with the small map and the new rules changes. I hate to see it, love to see it kind of thing. Went out and got myself one almost immediately when I saw that they're switching to a smaller map. Started thinking about it, and this guy had full map reach on a big map. Now you can literally yo-yo Emperor Gladiator. Definitely worth the prime slot. Definitely worth the prime slot now. Before it was questionable, especially with Destroyer and Magnum Jaspers being a thing. But Emperor Gladiator, if you want a Pete stick and you want to run a tent pole that doesn't take a lot of, maneuverability to use, Emperor Gladiator. Emperor Gladiator, Emperor Gladiator. This piece is so good. Okay. Mystique, no. Mimic, no. Prime Mimic. Didn't get a bump. He did get a bump, kind of. He's got that 6 square charge. So he does have full map reach now if you can run it with Venom Magneto. Guys, everything has full map reach with Venom Magneto though. So he didn't really get a bump. Venom Magneto got just the biggest of bumps. So I don't know how many times I said Venom Magneto on this episode, but I'm going to try to stop myself going forward. Mimic is another piece that's always been kind of under the radar. I don't think he's going to be the prime you want to play. Even at low, right? Even at low. No. Apocalypse, no. Weapon Hex is no longer better than Arachnite. I always said she was. I like that 19 defense that she gets to on her stock click. You put her with a soul sword, she heals off of it once, they hit her to it again. And now they have to hit that 19 on their third or on their second attack. Or no, with their third attack, they had to hit that 19 defense and then get through the senses. But I don't know. I don't think it's there. It's not as good as Arachnite anymore. So why would you just not run Arachnite? Let's see where this is going. So Weapon Hex takes a step back. Sucks, but it's a thing. Speed Weasel, I feel like he might have taken a step forward. No? No. Not really. Hellhound, Speed Weasel, full map reach by himself. Charge, close destroy, and then charge again. Yeah, Speed Weasel took a step up. Death Streak. Probably not. Probably not. Dupe Pool. Dupe Pool. Pensight power. All opposing characters are in range. Is that a stock click? Pensight? No. No. Fire Belly officially probably has full map reach. He might be decent now. Might be. Probably not. Go ahead, if you guys want to try it, you can probably go out and get yourself a couple for 25 each. It's going to be a really cheap option for full map for an Alpha Strike. Firebelly he's a laughingstock of the Clicks community. So you will be able to get him fairly cheap. Legacy Destiny I do want to look at for 20 points for PC when Destiny is turning. It's just a 4-range PC now, though. Nope. Not there. Cyclops has always been good. Nope. Okay. So that's Rise and Fall. Let's go into some of the later stuff. This stuff won't see the new rules for very long, but it will see them for brief moments. So I just kind of want to highlight a couple of them. Maybe Gorilla Grodd, no, maybe, I don't know. There really wasn't that many great pieces that had Super Strength or Quake in this set. I kind of want to see the Superman real fast, the common, that was like 200 points or whatever. Didn't have Super Strength. He did not have Super Strength, but he did have improved movement blocking. So kind of a step up. Pervious Super Senses protect that. Yeah, but 275 points. He's always good. Great in a popper. Didn't really take a step up. He doesn't have Super Strength. What kind of Superman doesn't have Super Strength? They just left his attack bare. It's like they knew Super Strength wasn't worth putting on the dial. Oh, this isn't worth the money. We're just not going to put it there. Great, guys. Yeah. No. Okay, this Giganta, the Prime Giganta. Quake, when Giganta uses it, targeting 2+ characters. I don't feel like she got any better. A team player. I wonder if she copied Spider-Man team ability. If she copied Spider-Man team ability, right? Would she just have basic senses then? Or would she have 4 through 6 senses? Super senses, but succeeds on a 6 if this character can already use senses. Increase the d6 roll by +1. So it's basic senses if she has them both. Okay, so she'd have five or 6 senses if she copied Spider-Man team ability. Not a bad idea, right? But that's your prime slot. She's probably not seeing it. Probably not seeing play. Star Sapphire took a huge step up with the constructs, but otherwise no. Wonder Woman doesn't have super strength. They really were like, super strength. We don't need to put it on there. No. Ares, no. This Lex Luthor took a huge step up with the Lex and Joker wombo combo. This Firstborn. No, he didn't get better. He didn't get better. Grail definitely did, right? Still won't see play. Brian Wonder Woman. And then you have your chases. And all of the chases are just so good right now. Let me see Supergirl. Guy Gardner probably took a huge step up, right? Quake, when Guy Gardner uses it and targets 2 or more characters, instead of dealing 2 damage, he deals damage equal to the number of adjacent opposing characters plus 1. Okay. Yeah, he probably got better. Let's put him over there. Screw it. Is it just me, or does this look like the Prime Wonder Woman style? Am I wrong there? I'm gonna check this out real fast. This video has already gone on super long, but I want to see this. I've thought about this. I was like, huh, that dial looks familiar. It's familiar, but it's not the same. Not the same at all. Okay, so that's Wonder Woman 80th. Not a lot of pieces. Got a huge bump. Future Foundations. Let's just go through this real fast. Again, a lot of these pieces are retiring. So there's really not too much. Molecule Man will always be a staple at 30 points. I completely forget that he has a 100-point line. But at 30 points, that 8 range is huge. Not only for his barrier and stuff, but also for his outwit. Very big. Range, I like it. Red Ghost, let me take a look at him again. No. A lot of these pieces you kind of forget about. Terrax. His special attack is Quake, Giant Reach 3. When it uses and generate a blocking frame marker adjacent to each hit character. Yeah. Not really. Not really. Pulse wave power. Huh. You know, you look at some of these pieces and they sound super awesome, and then you look at their point value and they're just not there. But some of these pieces got a huge bump. That Terrax got a big bump. Blackbeard gets a huge bump. Invisible Boy, not so much. Not so much. Opposing characters within 6 squares can't use stealth. That's not that huge. Susan, Queen of Atlantis. Jesus. Griever? No. Puppet Master, another unsung hero of this set. Prime High Evolutionary has been screwed twice. Let me just say that again. It's been screwed twice. Marquis of Death. The 10 range is really cool. 10 range PC is always helpful, but her pulse wave takes a hit because she's not hitting from 5, she's hitting from 4 now. And that's really why you wanted to use her. You wanted to try to get that pulse wave off. So no, and then the Dooms, I feel like they took a huge hit with the beginning of the way you interact with beginning of the game effects. And I'm not going to take the time out of my day to go through House of X. I feel like all these pieces, not really any of them see play. If any of them got a bump, maybe Krakoa? Not really. Kind of Krakoa, that support helps. Maybe Krakoa got a bump, that 8 range is kind of cool. Smoke Cloud is free. It helps out a lot of people that don't match theme with her. Okay. When an opposing character within range uses Outwit, Perplex, or PC, Krakoa can use that power until the end of your next turn. That's kind of cool. Because that range is so huge. So, yeah, Krakoa got a huge bump. What am I talking about? Krakoa got a huge bump. No legacies in house. I guess they didn't start the legacy cards until Wonder Woman 80th. Yeah, and then again, Waldo got a huge bump with the Sikorsky bystander, autonomous healing. I think that's it, guys. I think that's really it. Pervious super senses. It's not protected out. TK or mind control at no cost. After a running shot. You can TK yourself after being TK. North is kind of a yo-yo, right? Hold up. Let me look at North. So he can TK himself up 4 squares, running shot out 6. Doesn't need the full 6. Okay, so TK up 4 squares. Has a 7 range. You need to hit 14 squares. So running shot 3 squares and then TK back 4 at no cost. And then have someone else TK him back. North is a yo-yo now. All 3 rollouts with impervious, senses, and shape change. Throw the Herald dial on this feller. Holy Jesus. Let's throw North over there for anybody that was looking to use him whenever he came out and said, oh no, he's not protected outwit. Just throw the damn Herald dial on this feller and you have yourself a yo-yo. Now he doesn't get the mastermind that Emperor Gladiator has, but screw it, run them together. Him, Emperor Gladiator, Venom, Magneto, that's 285. Or, take off Emperor Gladiator and you have your prime slot so you can throw Destroyer on there. 1 second, guys. Ooh. It's been going on so long I have a low battery. So, North definitely got a bump. All that out of the way, guys. I think I've gone over enough of this stuff that we kind of see what's going to be good in the meta going forward. Just kind of perusing through here, looking for pieces that I've thought about playing before but just didn't. Emperor Vulcan. Still pissed off about this guy. Still pissed off about this guy. Went in the front against. Yeah. I mean, he's got full map reach by himself. But 175 points when you can get it for 100. Guys, couple pieces I want to bring us back to that I didn't expect to put on this list, but ended up making it. Curse. I didn't even think about this character, but there are going to be a lot of equipped characters after the equipment rules, or because of the equipment rules change, because of the Spider-Man team ability change, giving Avengers super senses is kind of a big deal, especially when you have so many that have team player. That's something to think about. Valkyrie and Mr. Horse, not that great of a piece, but something to keep in mind. Doctor Strange is a piece that I just don't feel got the love it needed. Crusader did get a buff, but I still don't think it's going to see play. Destroyer is probably the best prime going forward, unless you're wanting to run Emperor Gladiator, then you're probably going to want to run Destroyer. Colossus at 125 now has full map reach and can carry 2 characters with him. Storm has knockback. Probably not that great. Right? This Colossus, guys, this is going to be really good. When Colossus is given a move action after resolution, he can make a close attack as free. So, yeah, and if they ever come out with somebody, let's actually look at this real fast. Because in Empire, we got Kid Gladiator, who has the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning. So he can make him a sidekick and then take whatever power he wants off of him. He can make Brew a sidekick, take Blades. He already has Blades. I guess he could take Outwit, maybe? Could he take Outwit? Oh, he can't take their power. He makes them gives them the mystical team ability. So he could give Mimic the mystical team ability. That's something to think about. Angel, no. Beast, no. I guess it would really just be Kid Gladiator, right? Maybe, Pixie's already got it. I don't know. But if they ever make a really good piece that has a Jean Grey School for Higher Learning keyword, then yeah, Colossus, this guy's a beast. Storm, no. Colossus, this is this is the Impervious one. Not that great. I think there is a Colossus that has a Rally Dice for support. I can't remember which one it was, though. We've gone through so much, I'm not going to try to find it. Arclight, her Quake, all of a sudden becomes important. Still probably not going to see play. Polaris, her knockback, when she removes her Rally Dice, could be a game changer, mid-game or late game. As well as a double TK, or a longer TK. It's a 5-square TK instead of a 4-square TK. If you run her with Dr. Moira McTaggart, that's also something to think about. Omega Red, his Giant Reach 3 with Quake might not be a huge deal, but it's a deal. It's a deal. I don't know if he'll see play. Dakin now has full speed charge, full map reach. The issue is he's really easy. There's nothing there to stop them from killing him, right? There's nothing there. But he's going to get that one hit in to take out all the stop clicks, hopefully. Something to give him like a second attack. Maybe like the lasso or something. Give him the lasso. Yeah, give him the lasso. Shoot, give him the freaking lasso. Yeah, give him the lasso. Because then everyone hit gets a poison token, can't be healed, and cannot use stop clicks. Yeah. That's one way to get rid of stop clicks that I haven't thought about. Glad I have. Blackheart. All these mystical pieces with stop clicks, they're going to drive people nuts. Speed Weasel gets a buff because of the smaller maps. Guy Gardner gets a buff because of the smaller maps, and his Quake all of a sudden becomes more important. Jessica Cruz should not be over here. I wanted to check that out. Krakoa starts the game 40 points, just click 1 and 2. Here, that free support and 8 range PC, Perplex, and Outwit. Very good, very solid piece. 13 movement stealth, so you can really get her into position wherever you want. And then North is a piece I also didn't think I would be putting up here, but North has full map reach by himself with TKs. It's a yo-yo. So, guys, the meta's changing, and we need to change with it. I'm down to change. Going forward, I'm going to try to post some how to play videos. I have some friends that are trying to get into the game, but they don't really know, how to start. And I kind of want to get that information out there to as many people as possible. So I think that's where I'm going to take the channel going forward. I'm still going to dive into meta mechanics and stuff, kind of show you guys what I expect the teams to look like. I'll go into a video on that before I start going into the how-to stuff. But because as much as I want to bring people into the game, I still want, I want everyone to feel like, they can go into a high-level event and still participate, still win a match, win one match, and still feel good about their experience there. That's my goal with this channel, guys. Yeah, meta's changing. Meta is changing. Hopefully I can get some more videos out to you guys, and not just one every 3 weeks now that football season is over. I hope you guys all have a great week, a great weekend, and enjoy the rest of
Got the
it.
venom, a tangible
Go Chiefs.
weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession. You got their attention, now leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
Could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy and